The Marlins are just half a game back in the Wild Card 3 hunt after going 1-3 against the Brew Crew. Luckily for the Marlins, they scuttle, but so does everyone else. 9 games at home in a row. This is the time for the Marlins to show what they've got and to make that push for a postseason berth. This is Locked On Marlins.
You are Locked On Marlins, your daily podcast on the Miami Marlins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Greetings from England. Welcome to Locked On Marlins. This is your daily Marlins podcast. I am your host, Peter Pratt. Hit me up on X at Miami Marlins _UK. If you're listening to the pod, hit subscribe. This is your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Marlins your first listen. Happy Friday, guys. Friday's episode, the 15th of September. Yes, the Marlins are still relevant. In mid-September, this is incredible. This is incredible. This show, it should be getting more listens than ever. Is that actually happening? I'm not certain. I have to look at the analytics. Guys, there is a YouTube channel, by the way. Head on over there. Hit subscribe too. Hit subscribe. Come and join it. Join the comments as well in YouTube. They are always spicy for certain. If you are watching, you will see it's still bright. It's still early here in the UK. I've got a tennis match later this evening, so I need to get this one out earlier. But it felt right. I want you guys to have this one on your evening commutes, your afternoon commutes, whatever it might be. And you will see there is no guest. It's a solo pod, just myself. But there's tons to get into. Tons to get into, guys. Just want to call out, just before we kind of get rolling here. Actually, no, let's start with the show sponsor. Then we'll get it really, really rolling. Guys, this episode is sponsored by our good friends over at FanDuel. Yes, sir. And you can make every moment more. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Guaranteed. You can visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. All right. Where are we starting today? The Marlins went into Milwaukee. The offense went ice cold. They somehow managed to get one game. They could have gotten two, in my opinion. Game 4 was there for them. However, some defensive miscues really hurt the Marlins in this one, I would say. Jacob Stallings was one of the protagonists. Luis Arias, just to call that out as well. Luis Arias forgot he was playing first base, fielded a ball in the second base gap, left first base open. Kurt had to try and get over there. Couldn't get over there in time because, we got outgassed. Luis Arias should have been standing there at first base. He wasn't. Ball was rolling to second base. What was he doing? Anyway, Jacob Stallings didn't have his best game behind the dish. There was definitely a foul tip that would have been a game changer, potentially. Overall, it was sloppy, unfortunately, in game 4. The Marlins could have burgled a series split in that one. They really could have done. After they burgled that Philly series. Did they burgle the Dodgers series? I'm not sure. I think they deserve that one, but they absolutely burgled the Phillies. They could have burgled a split in the Brewers series. So once all said and done, they have what were they on this trip now? 4. They were 3-4 on the road trip against the Phils and the Brewers. Not terrible, but the beautiful thing here is that the Marlins right now are 75-72. 3 games over 500. Remember, they were 14 games over 500 earlier in the year. But they are just half a game back on the San Francisco Giants. Just half a game back. The Diamondbacks have just lost 3 on the spin. Who to? And this is an interesting one. They've just lost 3 on the bounce against the New York Mets. Did say, I think, on Wednesday's episode, beware the Mets. You can look ahead and think, Mets and Pirates, final week. Marlins should be winning them series, right? You got to be so careful with a team, particularly like the Mets, where still tons of studs around on that roster. They can do some damage, and they damaged the Diamondbacks this week. So the beautiful thing is the Marlins I mean, the offense just couldn't get going against these Brewers. It really couldn't. I think they scored 5 runs in 4 games or something crazy. Not enough. Not enough. But even after that little stretch, they're only half a game back. No one is capitalizing. Not one of these teams, the Giants, and this kind of sums it up. All 4 of the teams that are going after that wild card 3 spot right now on Friday, as we look, all 4 of them, it's the Giants, the Diamondbacks, the Reds, and the Marlins, last 10, 5-5. You know, bang average. They're playing some bang average ball. Luckily, all these clubs are bang average. It makes it crazy exciting, though, right? I mean, the Marlins are right in the thick of it. They're not playing great ball. It hasn't been that great to watch, to be honest with you, at times. It's been a bit of a struggle, if we're all, if we're completely honest. Sandy's gone down. Jazz has gone down. Soler's gone down. The Marlins are really at this point when they were really looking to kind of put their stamp on it. They've had some really unfortunate injuries at the most unfortunate of time. But luckily, all the other clubs around haven't been able to get anything going either. So it remains one hell of a race. So I'm not overly optimistic. I'm optimistic. I remain optimistic. And I said it, I've said it multiple times on this show. I don't trust the Giants. I don't trust the Reds. I don't trust the Diamondbacks. And frankly, I don't trust the Marlins either. It makes for great drama. No doubt. There is drama. Are people still watching? I don't know. I get the sense. I'd love to see some Bally figures around like the viewing figures here. I don't know. Is there some degree of like baseball regular season fatigue that's kicked in, even though we're in the final shakes and the Marlins are bang live? Are you feeling fatigued? Has this season led to fatigue? Because 162 is a long time, particularly if you're playing like really close games and, it's a grind at times. 162 we're not used to it as Marlins fans. We're not used to caring into the middle of September. We've normally we're just trying to work out I don't know, which prospects can do anything and we can get hyped about in the offseason. But this is a different situation. It's right there. It's in the team's grasp to make it happen and make the postseason. Are they the best club this year? Well, the record says no. The run differential says they're even worse than that. The expected record says they're terrible. But bit of luck, bit of skip, bit of voodoo, bit of Kim, players performing. This team's overperformed. It's expected everything. So even and it doesn't matter. At this point, who cares? Couple of weeks left to go. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. All that matters now, particularly these next 9 games. The Marlins have been good at home this year. This is the interesting bit. You've got 9 games on the spin at home. Their record at home all year is 40-32. 8 games over 500 at home. Whenever they're playing at home, what I generally see is Luis Arias multi-hit games. He always seems to come alive at home. He loves playing at Lone Depot. So for me, 9 games at home, this is the time for Luis Arias to just drag this team into the postseason. He got them into the mix early on, 14 games over 500. Luis Arias was a huge part of that. He's cooled off since. He's cooled off. You can't hit 400 in modern day baseball. You can't. He's cooled off. He's come back to earth a touch. But this 9-game stretch is the time for Luis Arias to drag the Miami Marlins into the postseason. If they can go something crazy like 7-2, something in that range in this 9-game stretch, I think they get in. I think they do. And I think if they're going to get in, Luis Arias is going to be a big part of that. We have to be honest. The first 3 are against the Braves. That is going to be extremely tough. Have you seen the pitching matchups? Let me just, and the Braves offense is the best offense in baseball by a mile. Their run diff, by the way, at this point is plus 242. A plus 242 on the run diff. Their road record is better than their home record. They've got guys chasing all sorts of statistical milestones. They've won the division already. And, they had a few beers to celebrate that. But let me tell you right now, the Bravos are coming into Miami and they are looking to do damage. They don't care about the Marlins and their wild card run. They are hunting statistical milestones, many guys, and they are going to look to stomp all over the Marlins. No doubt about it. The Marlins have got Johnny Cueto going in game 1. They've got a bullpen game, I think, in game 2. And they've got Jesus Luzardo. It is a huge uphill battle for the Marlins in this series, but they have to find a way to win at least one, maybe burgle one, and end up in a similar situation like the Philly series where you just sneak 2 out of 3 somehow and you just sit back and go, how the hell did that happen? But frankly, it doesn't matter. I think the Marlins get a touch fortunate on the rotation. I think they miss Strider. I think they miss Fried. So you're working with the back end of the rotation. Frankly, so are the Marlins. So, pitching matches up, kind of. And then you've got offense against offense. Boy, oh boy, doesn't fill me with huge amounts of confidence. But I do wonder if the Braves just take their foot off the gas a touch. Ronnie Acuna ain't taking his foot off the gas. Matt Olson, no foot off the gas. But I just wonder if there's a collective, a sigh. A time where they just drop a level, drop 5%. Because sometimes in baseball, when it's such fine margins, a little 5% drop over a series that doesn't really matter when you're trying to preserve yourself for the big postseason run, that could be exactly what the Marlins need. Right. This episode is brought to you by our good friends over at Jase Medical. So with that being said, we need some sexy graphics up. So let's get them going. The teal Jase Medical graphics. I love all these sponsors. They go with the teal graphics. What does that say, Marlins? What does it say? But if modern medical care and treatment are important, global supply chains are fragile. Things like pandemics, natural disasters, and foreign travel may cut you off from the treatment you need. Jase Medical is your solution. Just fill out their online form, and one of Jase Medical's board-certified physicians will review it to determine whether medications are safe and appropriate. Then Jase will send your prescriptions to one of their partner pharmacies, where your order will be filled and mailed directly to your home. You can also send your physician a message for answers to treatment-related questions anytime. Everyone should be empowered to care for themselves and their loved ones during the unexpected. That's why Jase Medical offers the Jase case. Save more than $360 by getting these life-saving antibiotics with Jase Medical, plus an additional $20 off by using my code, which is LOCKEDON at checkout on jasemedical.com. That's jasemedical.com, Jase, jasemedical.com. All right, guys, thanks for joining me, Peter Pratt, on Friday's episode of Locked On Marlins. Happy Friday, guys. And I wonder how happy this Friday will be. Johnny Cueto taking on the Braves and the Braves offense. Whew, boy, oh boy, that fills me with dread. Johnny Cueto has been consistent, it's fair to say, with Cueto. He will deliver you 5 innings of 4 or 5 run ball. And frankly, against the Braves this evening, I think that would be a good outcome. But the beautiful thing is baseball is weird. Baseball is weird, and to be honest with you, all I can think of is that baseball is going to get weird tonight. And maybe Cueto can find a way to go 6, no runs. Who knows? This series is all about the offense. The offense has been stone cold in Milwaukee. Stone cold. This offense against the Bravos has to play well. That's the way to win this series. It's the way to win games. It's the only way. You're not going to 1-0 the Bravos. Not with Cueto in a bullpen game and Jesus Luzardo, who probably got blown up by the Braves at one point this year or last year. Who knows? Frankly, the Braves offense blows everyone up. And so that will likely happen in one of these games, which will mean likely that there'll be another revolving door around this long man situation that has been occurring game after game after game as the Marlins try to handle and deal with this Sandy Alcantara injury, which is basically dropping in a bullpen game and just putting huge amounts of load into this bullpen, particularly the long men. So, Sandy Alcantara, in terms of an update, we have an update as such in that it's a UCL sprain. Sandy, though, saying that his arm feels 100% good. Sandy spotted on the field multiple days in a row throwing. Not full gas, not full gasolina, but Sandy out there throwing with the bullpen coach, with Mel watching, with Skip watching. This, for me, is extremely intriguing with Sandy Alcantara. Like, is it realistic that Sandy's going to be able to make a comeback, let's say, back end of next week? Is that possible? Is it going to be possible for Sandy? I mean, we've got the Bravos now. The Mets are then in town. And then next weekend, you got the Brew Crew. Could Sandy legitimately find a way to get back on the field? Start against the Brew Crew and maybe start against the Mets or Pirates in that final weekend? 2 more starts out of Sandy? It feels like a long shot, but I mean, if there was no chance, then you would assume that Sandy would not be out there in the outfield throwing balls, messing around with this. If it's a UCL sprain and they have concerns, then surely Sandy wouldn't be doing that. To me, this says that Sandy's trying to get back. And I do wonder, can he make it back by next weekend? That would be a huge boost. Huge boost if Sandy can make that happen. We'll wait to see if it does. On the flip side, Jase Chisholm Jr., what's happening there? Where Jazz exits the game, didn't play yesterday, and we wait to see. We wait to see on Jazz. Let's cover our final ad, then we'll kind of dig into that Jazz news, and also think more generally about this Bravo series, plus the Mets one as well coming up too. But before we do that, this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Yes, sir. And guys, boy, oh boy, the NFL season is here, baby, and they have incredible offers from FanDuel. It is America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. Boy, oh boy, that's sensational. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use and you can bet on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Right, guys, thanks for joining me, Peter Pratt, on Friday's episode. Happy Friday, guys, of Locked On Marlins. Picking up on this Jase Chisholm Jr. news. Jase Chisholm Jr. exiting the game in Game 3 against the Brew Crew, trying to leg out a single, an infield single to first base, obviously. Put the gas down, stretched, landed, planted the foot, exits the game with an apparent knee injury. After the game, post-game, Jazz asked, how you feeling? How's the knee? What's happening? Yep, precautionary. Knee feels okay. Should be out there tomorrow. I don't believe any Marlin that says those words. I should be good to go tomorrow, or any iteration of that. It just hasn't been true. It hasn't been true. How many times have we heard that from Jazz and others? It's not true. Never is. As soon as I heard Jazz say that, having exited the game with a knee-related issue, it was like, he won't be out there tomorrow. But, it is what it is. However, what about for this Brave series? Is Jazz going to be, is this going to be similar to Soler a few weeks ago, where Soler was like, I should be good to go tomorrow, maybe the day after. Soler ends up kind of being on the bench for nearly a week, comes back, hurts his oblique, IL. Not good. So for Jazz, what does this mean? Well, here's an indicator that I think is an interesting one. Game 4, yesterday's game, the Marlins were right in the mix of that game. Some defensive mishaps certainly didn't help, but they were close. It was a type of game that they were in the mix for. And during that game, there was at least 6 opportunities, probably, to insert Jazz into the game as a pinch hitter in the back end, either in the 8th inning, the 7th inning, the 9th inning, wherever you want. Jazz Chisholm Jr. not pinch hitting in game 4 against the Brewers says to me, this is more serious than maybe just, oh, I'm going to be right back out there tomorrow. Well, he wasn't back out there, and he wasn't pinch hitting in a game the Marlins needed to win. They could have won if they got a big hit going. I think they got someone on base, maybe in the 8th inning, so there was a runner on. No Jazz. I'm interested to see, what role Jazz plays in this Braves series. But looking at what we know, exits the game, doesn't play, doesn't pinch hit. This is maybe more serious for Jazz than just a simple sprain. We hope it isn't. We hope it isn't because we want Jazz out there. Dane Myers has handled center field pretty well, to be fair to him. He's also looked okay at the dish, I must say, Dane Myers. First career stolen bag as well for Dane Myers. So good work from Dane Myers, showing the speed. But overall, we're looking for Jazz to be out there. Jazz to be out there for certain. I'm feeling nervous about this Braves series, but I'm just hoping, to be honest, I'm hoping that the Braves are hungover. The Marlins somehow find some voodoo or something in this series, because I'm sitting here thinking Cueto, bullpen game, Luzardo, best offense in the league, Marlins just being ice cold in Milwaukee. I mean, it doesn't sound like you should be optimistic, but baseball's weird. Baseball is weird, and I need it to be weird this weekend, because these 9 games in a row at home in an environment the Marlins play well in and have played well in this year, they're critical. It feels like we've been saying this a must-win series since, I don't know, May the 1st. But frankly, 3 against the Bravos, 3 against the Mets, 3 against the Brewers. We can look at that Mets series, and I've already said it. It's a trap series. The Diamondbacks probably would have thought this is going to be a series to win. Swept, I think. I think it was a 3-game series. Beaten up badly by the Mets. This is it. When good players just play loose because their season's cooked, good things can happen. Also, poor things can happen. But this 9-game stretch is season defining. The Marlins have put themselves in the position with half a game back, exactly mid-September, to legitimately make a 1-6-2 postseason for the first time in 20 years. It's within their grasp. Who knows what happens with Sandy? Soler seems to be progressing in the right way. We hope that Jazz is truly day-to-day and he's back out there sooner rather than later. If they can find a way to get through this Bravo series and this Mets series, get into the Milwaukee series at the weekend, and who knows if you inject Soler, Sandy, and Jazz back into it for the last, 3 series of the season, looking to make a wild card. It's going to be wild. Guys, it's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun this week. I'm interested to know. Do let me know in the comments on YouTube. Are you still watching the Marlins as much as you have been? Are you excited? Are you entertained, as they say? Are you entertained right now, or are you not? Have you kind of clocked off a bit? Have you got a bit of 1-6-2 fatigue? Let me know. I'm intrigued, because it does kind of feel that way. It's felt that way just to me, not being based in Miami or being at the ballpark. Don't know. Twitter just feels a touch quieter around Marlins buzz, which is surprising. Half a game back with a couple of weeks to go. This is our time. With that being said, it's my time to go and open up a beer and enjoy the Friday afternoon and a tennis match. Good luck for me in the tennis. Good luck for the Marlins against the Bravos. I may see you over the weekend. We'll wait to see. But if not, I'll see you Monday. We'll speak soon.